Alright y'all, welcome back to Common Arms channel. So today's video is going to be a big recommendation that I've been getting in my comment section, and I wasn't actually familiar with this TV show prior to all of y'all recommending it because we just don't have it here in the United States. But I guess the show is called SAS, Who Dares Wins, and it's been familiar. I've heard other people reference it previously, even before I started doing my videos. But yeah, I've been seeing it a lot from the recommendations from all of y'all. So I've checked it out on YouTube. There's pretty decent amount of clips on YouTube. So I think I found some pretty good ones that I'm gonna do a little reaction to. So I think I found some pretty good clips on YouTube. So I've put two videos together basically. So I'm gonna be checking that out. I haven't watched all of it in its entirety. So I'm hoping most of it makes pretty good sense. SAS Who Dares Wins. It seems like it's a show. They bring like a bunch of random people on. I'm not sure if if they're trying to join the SAS or if they just do it for the show itself. I'm not sure what the show actually gives you. I think it's kind of just like a pat on the back, like, hey, you're part of the team. I don't think they're actually joining the military or anything like that. But so just for your reference, that's basically what's going on here if you're not familiar with the show either. So yeah, we're gonna check it out, and here it gets pretty intense. So I might have to start censoring a lot of the cursing that's been going on from the clips that I've seen. So I apologize for that in advance. But yeah, it seems pretty intense. So I'm definitely excited to check this video out.
I will give you a series of questions. You answer those questions, and I will get you out. Let's do it.
At these temperatures, hypothermia can set in less than 3 minutes.
What's your number? What's your number? Your mind needs to tell your body to calm down.
So off the bat, I forgot what his Aunt Middleton. I think that might be his name. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I've heard about him. He's got a lot of cool videos I've saw online that are just separate from this. But he seems really confident and well trained. So I can imagine if they're going into something like this, whenever he's telling them to do something, like, I would have pretty much no reservations because I wouldn't be worried about it. If he's telling me like, hey, this is how it's going to go, I would totally believe him. He just seems like the subject matter expert on a whole lot of things. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot to question there. But you can see it starts off super intense right off the bat. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of being in the cold in general. Like, even if it's like, I don't know, maybe like 40, 35 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm not having a good time. I don't like when I'm in a temperature where when my body starts to freeze, I can't really operate very well. Like, I'd rather be in 110 degree heat than like 20 degree weather any day of the week. And the reason for that is I just start freezing up all the time. So I can imagine submerging into that ice cold water and all of your thoughts just exit your head and your body just starts freezing up. You get into a state of like almost shock. So I personally haven't jumped into very cold water. Like, I can imagine the water they're in is basically freezing. So I haven't done that myself, but I can imagine it's pretty miserable. And just getting those thoughts back to your head is more of a struggle than you think it is.
Once you've stripped and got rid of all your wet kit.
The recruits have been issued.
And kept my pants on.
You step out. 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 Look at the state of you. You've been given a dry, fucking warm tent. A dry, fucking warm tent to get fed in, and you come out like this. You fucking taking a piss. All of you at the front there, unsustainable, fucking no good to no one, a burden. Well, guess what? You just compromise yourself and the team. It's because you got a bra on. Guess what? Take the fucker off. Rinse it out. Put it in your bag. Now walk. Lean and walk.
Okay, I really do. I love his personality. Just coming from the Marines and coming from a Marine background, like the whole screaming and abuse is just something that I'm very comfortable with and very comfortable being around. So yeah, his personality is, I dig it. So having that sort of personality on this TV show is definitely drawing my attention to watching more of these episodes. But you can see it's not just like they're making things like sort of personal, but at the same time they're doing everything and saying everything for a specific purpose. You know, they've been there and done that, obviously, so they know, you know, what really holds back a team and what will really cripple like your efforts actually getting stuff done. So that's something you might not even consider, like, hey, I'm just gonna leave like my bra on or my undershirt on. You know, if it was soaking wet, like, yeah, it'll dry up later. But when you're in like freezing temperatures, like that stuff can really start to add up, like just the small things like that. And if you're a hindrance to the team, then you're slowing everyone down. And it seems like this show is all about getting to that mindset of like you need to do everything for the team and not just think for yourself. Like yeah, you could be quick, save a little bit of time, but if you're given the opportunity to set yourself up for success for you and your team, then you definitely want to take advantage of that. And it's pretty obvious how they're highlighting all of that and making sure it's aware to all of them. So yeah, good job on that. It's definitely good to sort of instill that team mindset.
Start to walk.
We have to see if you can step out of your comfort zone and go forward.
Now start to walk, slowly. Walk step by step, slowly.
Somebody who can't do that will not have a place in the Special Forces. That's a weak link in your chain that is not acceptable.
Step, lean forward, lean forward. You gotta keep walking forward, you gotta keep walking.
I'll say I'm a bit spontaneous, or I do things very impulsive.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
Shut up.
It's not a joke, it's f***ing serious.
Sick of her laughing all the time, not taking this seriously. See how much she laughs when I'm reaching out that hill.
Laughing and joking.
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning, but yeah, like I'm a huge fan of rappelling. I'm not a fan of heights, but like when you're doing something where you definitely trust your gear, like rappelling or going down like a mountain like that, it's so much fun. Like I can imagine a lot of the stuff they do here. It might be terrifying for some people who have never done this or like wanted to do anything like that, but I can imagine that can get very, very exciting, very cool. So a lot of the stuff that I've seen already is cool. Stuff that I'd want to do just to say I've done it. But yeah, I would have a blast doing that. Now you can see she's kind of having a little too much fun with it, and that's where the problem comes in. You know, it's fine for you to be confident. It's fine for you to be comfortable with your gear. That's good. That's the way you should be. But when you're sort of like they're saying, like laughing about it, then it's like you're not taking it seriously. Like even if you're comfortable and you're 100% that everything's gonna go fine in one specific aspect, like that's cool. But when you're laughing, you're kind of making a joke of it. It sort of takes away. It's kind of like an insult to them. But the point that he's definitely trying to drive across here is, even if you're confident, try not to let that go to your head. Like it's all fun and games to be like confident in something, but when you're just laughing and not taking things seriously, that's when, you know, things will turn from fine to bad really quickly. So I think he's just trying to instill in their minds that, like, hey, yeah, it's all fun and games right now, but this can get serious very, very quickly. So, like, looks cool. I would have fun too, but I wouldn't vocalize it in the same way that she did.
Laughing and joking. I want to see you f***ing work. Go! Move, 13. Not f***ing giggling and laughing now, are ya?
Recruit 18, Rick, who was voted as untrustworthy by 3 fellow recruits, now has a chance to prove himself to his oppo, number 14, James.
I had a bad rugby injury 5.5 years ago. I broke my neck. There is an element of concern that something might happen in the future, but it doesn't put me off my stride, as it were.
Stand by. Release. Break. Break. Hey! 14! You okay? Speak to me. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Number 18, get over here. Take your helmet off.
Again, I'm very comfortable with rappelling and doing stuff like that, but when you're putting the belay man is the one who's at the bottom, who's supposed to set the brake for them. You can do it yourself when you're rappelling, but the point of this exercise, I guess, is to just build trust in each other, especially since they said they've highlighted this individual as not being totally trustworthy. So when you're just going hands off and you're relying on the other person to brake, that's when it can get pretty scary. He's basically just free falling at that point, and he's just relying on the other person to make sure he brakes, and you can see that didn't happen. So even me, who enjoys doing that sort of stuff, I would be a little bit sketched out having putting that trust in someone else's hand. But then after the fact, if I slammed my back and my leg into a rock, I would be pretty shaken up. Not gonna lie, I'd be hesitant to do that in the near future. So you can see, I can imagine they're going to talk to him. I don't know if he's going to stay in the course or the whatever they're doing, the training. But when someone's relying on you for something like that to really save your life, that's when you really need to be in your game. It doesn't matter how miserable or tired you are. You have to just put all that away and focus. Use all of your brain power and all your muscles and everything on keeping that person safe and alive. And when you can't do that, when you can't just drive that focus, then you're going to be a liability to the team. So they're definitely making sure all this is team oriented and testing all those little traits and whatnot that would be crucial for an efficient team.
You've been picked 3 times today for not being trusted. 3 times. And then you go and fucking let your pal crash into a fucking rock, potentially breaking his fucking legs. 3 times you were picked. Why the f did you let him run into the rock for? Why don't you fucking break beforehand?
I broke when the said, but I mustn't have had the technique right yourself.
Did you see him smash into the rock?
I didn't, because I went down.
Whilst on the run from the Chilean military hunter force.
Anything go.
Yeah, if you messed up, just don't even try pulling any excuses out or anything. Just, you messed up, and that's where they really need to identify other things as well. If you're willing to accept that, yeah, you messed up and you're gonna work on that, that's one thing. But if you're just making excuses, especially over and over again, if it's a recurring thing, then it's just it's not worth it. It's just better to cut ties entirely.
Me orders then.
Not stuff.
You fucking just did. You just told me, why don't I fucking take you off the course? Are you calling me a fucking liar?
I think I need to cry.
Concentrate on, keep moving. Don't give up.
Keep going, don't fucking stop. Don't fucking look at me. No one said stop. Hold it. Keep it there. I just want to see your ugly head.
Go. Everything you've got, 23. Come on, everything you've got.
Come on, my little ducklings. Wah, wah.
Why are you only giving me 50%? I thought I'm giving 100%.
You're fucking loafing in the middle. You're not even giving fucking 50%. Got it?
Yeah, so I can imagine before they really start doing the team building, they're sort of judging each person individually to see if they're really putting forth as much effort as they think they are or as they make themselves believe they are. But you can see they're making them do a lot of stuff, just stuff to really get in their heads, make them really uncomfortable, and just regret their decision for trying to do that. But you can see where the teamwork really starts coming into play, where people are picking others up when they're down, just giving them a little boost of energy, motivation by talking to them and whatnot. And that's a big thing, especially talking from a leader's perspective. When you have, people who are under you, like subordinates and junior soldiers, junior Marines and whatnot, when you can see that they're capable of being resilient and being resilient enough to pick each other up, then that's where you're really succeeding as a leader. And when you're resilient and you're capable of doing that to them, then they'll learn to start doing that to each other. It's a very good trait to have in your team, for sure.
Me and Mark will carry this.
Yeah. Okay.
Press it up, guys. Press it up. Come on. Pick it up. Right, gents, the helicopter's not going to land. We're going to literally clip on, and we're going to get pulled the over here.
If y'all aren't familiar with what that's called, it's a spy rigging, so Special Patrol Insert Extract, and it's as fun as it looks. You literally just hook up, and then the bird or the helicopter just picks you up, takes you away. It's like, so I can imagine they do a lot of cool stuff while they're doing all this miserable stuff, and that's just something that's very cool. I've actually trained to do that myself, and it's very interesting. It's not necessarily practical for a lot of different senses, but it's fun. That's all I can really say about that.
Need to give him whatever rations. No, don't give it to me. What I'm going to do is ask at the checkpoint if I can hand in my banner, and you can just go on without me and save him. We're a team, right? Genuinely don't hand in your badge. Yeah.
Come this far, eh?
Mate,
it's all right. We're a team, man, right? That's all it is.
Yeah. But
what?
I feel like I'm going to collapse.
You won't collapse, man. You won't collapse. I'll pick you on my shoulder and carry you.
No.
That's what's going to happen if you collapse.
Put your hands over your chest and simply fall backwards.
Okay, so again, going with heights and water and combining the two, not a fan. So this would definitely be getting to me. Just the fact of just jumping off of that would take a lot from a lot of different people, but me particularly would not be a fan of just jumping into the water. But the fact of doing it like going backwards, I've done it once where I put like a blindfold on and had to jump like 12 feet into the water. And I think that was a little bit easier. But when you're going backwards, you can still see. It's just you're not seeing the way you're used to. So it adds like another level of just not being able to like rationalize what's going on right now. So it sort of adds another level of fear just because of the unknown of, you know, okay, I'm falling backward now. How am I going to land? Like, when am I going to hit the water? So there's a lot of things going through your head. So this is a very good exercise to be doing with anyone. A little bit like dangerous if you're, you know, not comfortable with the water or what have you, but I'm interested to see how these people handle it.
Hold on to the stick. That's what it's there for. Number 19, you can fucking do this. Come on, you can fucking do this. You can block this out and you can do it. Just do exactly what I say and just fall backwards. This is going to be fucking hard.
So again, that's sort of testing individual, but also testing to see how you'd be like as part of a team. If you're comfortable with, you know, going against your fears and just overcoming them, it means a whole lot to a team. You know, you can really be confident and build confidence in a team if you know that each person on the team is able to push past those mental barriers and do what's asked of them. So definitely a very good exercise. And then I think the way that this show ends up, they kind of do it in stages. So I think right now is like the interrogation, or like they're being captured and whatnot. So let's see how they actually finish all this off.
Okay, we've seen qualities in you. This is why you're sitting here. Because we believe you have what it takes.
Boys, there's no way of getting through. Fucking hell, all right. Get out! Get out! Come on!
The only thing that you're...
So being in the military and coming from the military, if I were to do this, I would have a lot of fun in the sense that like I love doing scenario-based training and stuff like that. So I'd be having a lot of fun just like on the tactical aspect and everything like that. But if you're not used to that and you've never done anything like that, I can imagine it's pretty miserable for these guys, pretty terrifying. Even if, you know, it is a show and it's controlled to a certain point, it's not stuff that you're used to dealing with. So I can imagine it can be pretty stressful.
What you're in control of is your own mind.
What is your name?
Mo.
What's your surname?
Musa.
You've passed this course with fucking flying colours. You are the only man standing.
We are a bunch of rogues that have found the people we want to be with.
That's awesome. So yeah, I guess that gentleman was the last one standing, or the last one remaining, and you know he was doing everything asked of him, and he was doing more than I guess he expected to be doing. So you know, kudos to him for being able to have that mental fortitude to really push past everything. You know, going into this, I'm sure they had expectations, but you know these things always tend to exceed your expectations as far as like how like difficult and mentally draining it can be. So, you know, kudos to anyone who can get through this. I know it's not like the real deal, like actually going through and joining the military and everything, but it takes a lot, especially if you don't have a military background already. But yeah, I appreciate this recommendation. I really want to check out more of these episodes. If you guys have any of your, you know, particular favorite clips from this TV series, from the series or something similar to it, feel free to send them my way. I think this is an awesome show. I wish they had something like this, you know, more tailored towards military stuff in the U.S. Most of the stuff now that we have on TV is sort of dramatized. So I don't know. It's cool to see that, you know, like a no filter, you know, TV show where they can really make it personal towards a person, but at the same time drive an idea of like, this is what a team needs. This is what's asked of you, you know, as an individual in that team. But yeah, that was an awesome recommendation. So I mean, I've been seeing the recommendations piling up, and I'm glad I just actually, you know, finally got around to looking at this show. But I'm going to have to use my VPN to try and see some more episodes. But yeah, really, really good recommendation from y'all. So keep them up. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to try and do some different videos, maybe with some of my gear and some of the training that I've been doing in the Army. So I'll try and pump those out every now and again. But I'm going to keep the reaction videos coming pretty regularly. So please keep the recommendations going. It helps me out. And, you know, I hope it makes it more entertaining for all of y'all, for me to check out your recommendations and see what I have to say about them. But that's it for this video. So I will see all of y'all in the next one.